How do you handle the discomfort of changing when the people around you are still used to the person that you once were? Hi, my name is Shavonte, and if you're new here, this is From Your Big Sister, a series where I talk about things that desperately need to be talked about, or I kind of just rant about whatever on my mind at the time. Have you ever changed and then the people around you didn't? Have your decision making skills changed while you're within that same circle, but the people around you didn't? They still make the same impulsive or the same childish decisions. You start making different choices, you start wanting different things. But somehow people are still quick to react in a way of indifference of those new choices that you're making. And that's only because they're still used to a version of you that you once was. So, again, today we're talking about when you're outgrowing the older version of yourself into a newer version of yourself, and the people around you may not be completely used to that, but that's just because, like you, they are just trying to recognize this new person in front of you. I would have to say one of the most surprising parts about getting older or becoming a woman going closer to her 30s is that people only really still see you as the version of you when they first met you. I'm sorry, people only see the version of you for when they first met you. So they're not really completely watching you grow. They know that you're getting bigger, but they don't exactly initially recognize the inner dialogue of the growth that you're making. I know this sounds a bit complicated, but let me give you a perfect example. I am a younger sister. I am the baby sister to two older sisters. And no matter how old I am, I'm almost 30. So they still see me as their baby sister. And it can be a bit tricky sometimes when it comes to certain conversations. I'm quick to say my personal opinion about it or the perspective that I have about the situation, and they feel indifferent. It's not because of the advice that I'm giving, it's not wrong, or it's not because I don't personally relate to the perspective or the emotional balance. I'm sorry. Or I don't personally relate to them and where they're coming from. They kind of just feel like I'm a baby sister and I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. And that's not to really put me down, but they still might not feel like that I have the same equal to life experience as that they have. So it's impossible to feel like the word of advice that I might be talking about at the time is exactly what needed to be said, whether it's right or wrong. And honestly, there was moments where I realized that I didn't even change. There would be a conversation that was being had, and I know for a fact my first initial reaction is to always walk away, be mature, be very centered about it. But if she goes, yeah, she had me puffed up and I was about to slap her, I'm like, y'all, like, why'd you say that bitch? And it took me off guard because I was like, whoa, what is this? Who is this? And the only reason why I reacted like that is because, like I've mentioned before, I went through my own life experience. And because I was so positive, I had to see the other side of things. I had to learn the power of being more assertive, even if I might be in fear of who I'm asserting myself to. It's not that I would be feeling like I'm bigger than this said person or I feel like I can topple said person. It would be more so in the fact that I feel like you are a person and I'm a person as well. So you should not treat me any differently, especially if I'm consistently matching you with a form of respect. So it would be things like, oh, you never said that before. Oh, when did you think like that? Or since when did you want to do something like that? And it would have to be me verbally saying, I had to grow up in shorter terms. I had to say, well, you can't think like that all the time. Or I have to stop thinking like that because if I thought like this, it made me feel like I was always going back here and I was tired of going back here. And when I officially tried doing it this way, I started to see a better result. And I like this result and I want to keep pushing forward to get this said result. And I had to understand that although growth is lonely, the time to have the people around me or around you to adjust to this new person that you are trying to become is way more lonelier because now they have to reaffirm who they are because they believe that who you might try to be may be a different person because now you're not the person that you once were with them. And it becomes a real big mess. They will never see the internal work. They will always see the external work. From how I'm looking now compared to when I first started my channel, or even when I was wearing locks, I look completely different. I behave completely different, even from just a year's time span. And if I came across someone that I've met back when I had my locks, and how I was dressing when I had my locks, or how I was behaving when I had my locks, they might say my personality is still the same, the jokes I still make are the same, but my responses, my dialogue, or how I think about whatever situations that we're discussing in conversations are not going to still be the same. And it's tough because the people that who struggle the most with your growth are not strangers, it's the people around you. When you meet a stranger has the opportunity to meet you for who you are becoming at the time. This is their first time seeing you. This is all they know you as opposed to your mom or your dad. And like, girl, since when you started liking pink, you like black since you was 15, you 36. And as you can guess, as you should have expected by now, maybe you've experienced this. Maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about because you've been in the same situation as me, or you've been through similar situations. You have came to the point where you're having a conversation with a friend, and you've gotten to the point where you're like, I just don't do that no more. Like, it's just that simple. I don't like doing that no more. And you don't want to lose the friendship. You don't want to offend the friend. You just want them to simply understand, I don't rock like that no more. I don't do that. Like, that's just not who I want to be anymore. You stop being confrontational, people start calling you scary. You start being confrontational, people call you weird. You start being more private, people say you switch up. And as you can tell, as you know, if you don't know by now, if it hasn't been clear, just because you change, it does not mean that you're being a better person than anyone, or you're trying to come across as a better person than anyone else. It doesn't mean you're judging where someone came from. It doesn't mean now that you're turning your nose down from where you came from, where you initially met that person. It simply means that I'm ready to be better for myself. I'm ready to be better for myself. And I had to choose between after that better for myself than just sitting here and just longing for that better for myself. We're allowed to want different lifestyles. We're allowed to change who we are on the inside. We're allowed to grow an interest. We are allowed to develop a liking for things that we initially said that we did not like before. We are allowed to change because the change is actually going to push us or allow us access to be more authentic to ourselves. I think that sometimes we convince ourselves that we're not allowed to change because of that fear of rejection. And I don't really think that's true. I think the younger version of yourself, or the ambitions that you had as a child even, or as a young teenager, allows that type of compassion. They are allowed to have that form of acceptance because you were never able to have that whole control as a child. You still had a mother you had to go home to. You still had a father you had to get permission from. You still needed someone's permission to drive a car somewhere. These are all things that you still had to do at that time in order to go where you wanted to go. But now you're grown, or you're almost 18. Either way the situation that goes, as the years go by, you go closer and closer to the point where you have a form of independence to do as what you need to be able to give yourself your own support. And I don't believe it makes sense to weigh it down because the people around you have a hard time accepting that you're changing, and you have a hard time to help people around you understand that I am changing, but I'm still me. I still like X, Y, and Z. I just can't do X, Y, and Z anymore. That person, this person, has made the decision based on the information, the experience, the connections, the conversations, the ups, the downs. You were able to take the information that you have in front of you now and be able to compile that into who you're trying to be today. You can honor your past. You can love your mistakes. You can cringe at your mistakes. You can put that motherfucker in the oven and bake it in a pie and eat it and never talk about it again. But you're still going to be moving forward. You still have to keep moving. The most difficult part is, and everything is difficult, but that's just my favorite word. The most challenging part, or a challenging part, is to allow people to know who you once were at the time, but never allow someone to know who you once were at that time. Identify who you are today. Either they're going to accept who you're trying to be today and love who you are today, or they're going to be stuck with that type of identity of who you once were and never get the ability to be able to see the benefits of the person you are today. Yes, Father. I don't have a lighter. A bigger lesson, or a lesson that anyone is going to have to come across at any point in life, is that we all have a right, we all have a superpower, we all have the energy, we all have the same opportunities to actually decide who we're going to become going forward. I think we've gotten to a point where we can separate love versus understood. And if you don't, we can always make a video about it. Just let me know. Yeah, because sometimes people love us so dearly, or because sometimes people grow a more stronger love based on the experience or the trauma that we are sharing at the time. They have a hard time understanding when you're coming out of that trauma, or when you're coming to use it as a leverage to plummet forward. And that can be painful. We want the people around us, especially loved ones around us, to be able to acknowledge, accept, praise any growth that we have. But we sometimes want them to say, I understand completely what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from. I'm proud of you. Good job. I knew you can do it. I believed in you the whole time. These are things that anyone would want anyone around them to say. But sometimes that moment takes time. Either it takes time, or it actually will never come. You may actually have to consistently keep showing up as this newer version of you for someone to understand, okay, this is who she is now. This is not no 2-week show pony. This is not a dress-up doll she's using to have fun with. This is just actually who she is now in life. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with others. Be patient with the uncomfortable situations, the uncomfortable conversations that you have to have with people. You're going to go through a lot of tests and trials about all of your becoming. You aren't who you were, although you might not be completely comfortable with who you are now. You should become more comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's all I have for you today. Again, my name is Shavonte, and this is From Your Big Sister, and I'll see you in the next one.